I'm preparing to turn a Big Pen ink pen. This is a cigar style pen, and the wood I'm using is teak. And there's a little something special about this teak. It came from the U.S.S. Alabama. I guess as they were doing renovations, this is some of the teak that they removed. And I was sent a piece by Scott over in the United Kingdom, and I have been looking forward to turning this for a long time, and today is the day. I'm really happy with the shape of the pen. One thing that I do want to do with this blank as I sand it is I'm going to flip the blank over. The reason why is as I cut this, if you roll the blank this way, it feels relatively smooth. If you roll it this way, you can feel all of the wood grain, where the wood grain got laid down as the tool cut it, and anything it didn't cut, it laid down. By turning it around, it's facing this way, and the sandpaper can raise it and clean it up. So between each grit, we're going to flip the blank. Sanding went very well. The blank feels incredibly smooth when rotated either way, so I'm happy about that. As I look it over, I'm not seeing any scratches in the blank. It's a relatively grainy wood, and you can see the light areas. I think some of that may be dust in those areas, so I'm going to clean this really thoroughly with some denatured alcohol, and then we'll let it dry a little bit and start putting a finish on it. Ready to clean with a little denatured alcohol, and I'm going to start by rubbing with the grain so that any of that is dust, we can pull it out. And now we'll start the lathe and just finish cleaning. Making sure to get all of the little fuzzies off of the blank. You don't want any of those encapsulated in your CA. It looks pretty good. I'm going to let it sit, and you can see it already starting to evaporate. But we're going to let it sit for a bit and completely dry, and then we'll come back and get our finish on. It looks really beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and put about 4 more coats of thin CA on this blank, and then we're going to come back with some medium, and it's probably going to take quite a few coats of medium because I don't know how well you can see it in the video. I'm trying not to touch the blank, but the grain, this is a very grainy wood, and there are little holes all over the place, and those will need to be filled and leveled. So as we apply our medium CA, it will fill those holes, and the more coats we apply, it will level them out as we micro mesh it off. So I'm not going to film putting the thin coats on here because it's just repetitive as to what I just did with that first coat. I'm just going to keep applying it. Then I'll go ahead and apply 2 coats of medium, and I'll come back after I've applied the 2 coats of medium, and we'll talk about whether we're going to need more CA or whether we think that's going to be enough. Up to this point, I have applied 5 coats of thin CA and 2 coats of medium, and actually it's filled pretty well. I can still see a few little tiny indentions, but I think 1 more coat of medium and we're ready to go ahead, and like right in there I can see the grain fairly well right there. I think we're just about ready to go ahead and micro mesh. So let me put 1 more coat. I'm just spinning the blank, and I'm watching the front blank first. The front blank looks absolutely perfect. The back blank looking pretty good. I just have a few more right here. It's just on one side of the blank. The rest of the blank looks really good. I'm going to apply 1 more coat of medium to this back blank, and then I think we're going to go ahead and micro mesh. Look it over real good. Much better, much better. I'm not seeing any of the grain. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get these blanks removed, or actually get the nonstick bushings removed, and get the original bushings back on, and then we're going to come back and micro mesh this blank. I just realized my camera wasn't on, and I've already worked through the first 3 grits of micro mesh, so I'm going to go ahead and run through the last 3 real quick on camera for you. I re-ran through the orange, so actually I'm going to be hitting 4 grits here, but that's all right. The blank is really shining up nice. This is beautiful, beautiful wood. Now I'm going to check it very closely for any flaws or anything that might detract from the look. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Let's get some polish on this thing. That's just an absolutely beautiful pen. I'm going to go ahead and polish one more time just because I really want this blank to shine. Let's head over to the assembly table and get this one pressed into a pen kit. I've got my blank laid out, lower barrel, upper barrel. I've got all the parts laid out in the proper orientation. There are a lot of parts to this pen, and we need to make sure we don't miss anything or put anything in the wrong way. We're going to start off by installing the nib. That's pretty straightforward. It goes down at the end of the lower barrel. Okay, let me get something in there to protect that. Alright, we've got a really nice transition there. That's going to be beautiful. The nib actually does screw into the end piece. I prefer to install it with the nib screwed on because I don't want to damage the threads. We have this back piece that goes into the back of the front blank, and this is what the transmission screws onto. So we're going to turn this, actually we can't really turn it around, we'll put it like this. We'll put the piece of cardboard in here to protect the threads, and we'll slowly press it in. And we've got a real nice transition there too. That looks beautiful. Let's get our ink cartridge, and if you look at the spring, there's a large end and a small end. The small end goes onto the ink, and the large end goes into the tube. Here's our transmission, and it threads onto the back of this little piece right here that we just inserted, and that ejects and retracts the ink. For the upper blank, we've got this nice little ring, trim ring or gold ring, and it snaps onto here. There we go. And this goes into the bottom of the upper barrel. Let me adjust my pen press just a little bit. Looks like I may have adjusted it too much. There we go. We'll get her started, and then we'll come back and put a piece of cardboard here to protect this. I'm just going to press nice and slow. No sense getting in a hurry. And we have got a beautiful transition right there. I mean, you can't even feel that ring. For the upper barrel, I'm going to go ahead and press this into the pen, but I'm only going to press it part of the way in, and I'll show you why in just a minute. I don't like to press it all the way in because I like to go ahead and apply the clip. And I like to put the cap on there and thread it on. And then I like to push it the rest of the way into the blank. And by doing this, what I can do is assure that I have a nice tight fit. If you press that threaded piece in and you press it in too far, you can't really screw the cap on and get a good tight fit. And if you don't press it in far enough, you have a loose fit. Kind of take a look at the blank. There we go. And that is a gorgeous pen. What a nice finish too. It really turned out beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I'd like to thank you for joining me in the shop today, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. I had a great time turning this Big Pen Cigar Style pen. I think this blank, this Teak from the U.S.S. Alabama, is absolutely stunning. It took a finish so well, and it just shined up. It looks great. I love this gold kit with the gunmetal accents, and the way this transmission operates is just so smooth. I mean, it just feels amazing. I would really like to thank you for joining me in the shop today. I want you to know that you are always welcome in my shop. Come back and see me again real soon. Take care, everybody.